la la la. There she goes.
Oh, I see her.
So we finally made it out to this 1974 Winnebago, and it's time to figure out if we can get it to start and go and everything. Hopefully everything works and we can just drive it out of here. The guy who watches the yard was kind of like, yeah, fucking right. But we'll see. So first things first, we got to get it started and there's no key. So big thing, or not a big thing, what we used to think was a big thing, was pulling a steering wheel. It's definitely not as hard as it seems. And we have our threaded ports. Once you have exposed the underbelly. Shit, yeah, so, I mean, within like a few minutes. I'm not gonna eat my words. Boom. That easy. Steering wheel's off, and then we'll just have to bust off the turning signals and a few other things. Keep track, obviously, of what's going on. Thankfully, I have a mat filming me doing it, so it's kind of, you can just watch the video back. So, boom, now we are exposed. So just carefully continue to just take stuff off and keep track. Alright, TourLifers, like 15 minutes or something like that. We have our new lock cylinder. Boom. Definitely the same looking lock cylinder, which is fantastic. Woo, woo, woo. Ciao. Yes. Perfect. You can always like tell if an engine's got like a compression problem. And it might be just super minor, it might just be a kind of a stuck valve or something like that. But I can hear it go. I hear that little like little tick. So hopefully that tick works itself out. We already got it started, we already know it has brakes, we already know the lights work. The biggest thing was trying to get these tires replaced because someone did. Somebody filled these tires with fucking foam, thinking then they could like seal it up. Not a good move. Good old-fashioned power! Yeah, basically when they tow RVs, because usually it's longer than, 25, 35 miles, if you're going to tow a vehicle, if you do that with it, with the drive shaft on, you're going to end up heating up your transmission like crazy because the pump's not running, it's just in neutral. So your transmission fluid pump is not going to be working. So instead of that, you just unhook the drive shaft, and then that way you can just tow it unlimitedly. But now we're putting it back on. We thought it was lost for a long time. We were gonna have a custom drive shaft made, but then they were like, no, we have it. So now I'm just trying to get it back in. I'm just hitting it with some emery cloth or some fucking steel wool. So it's not gonna really be super abrasive. It's not gonna hurt the metal, but maybe I can get some of the surface rust off of there. Oh, that. So my little U-bolt caps that I had, they're too big for this little tiny drive shaft. So we have some like help section AutoZone ones. I have one. There was actually one sitting on the ground here underneath the truck, thank God. So, and I know this, I'm not recommending this, but I have driven very far distances on just one U-bolt cap, as long as it was nice and tight. So, who knows? We just need to get this thing out of here realistically. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, so this motherfucker is just about ready to go, putting on doors and things. It was hung up in the air on some jack stands, and now it is on the ground, ready for liftoff. So the cap probably just bad. That's probably why I overheated. It just is literally like clogged. All the cooling fins are filled with dirt. So it was getting hot. It probably has a bad radiator cap, so it was letting off pressure instead of keeping nice 16 pounds of pressure like it should. The radiator looks like it's in good shape. None of the rails look rusted, so I could just see steam, and I just figured it's fine. It's probably the radiator cap. I think the radiator's clogged, which, you know, is what it is. I hope that we can just take it out and clean it, or maybe hope we don't even have to take it out. We just really run a bunch of water through it. It might just have some sludgy garbage in it. Also, there's no temperature gauge on the inside, so shooting in the dark. I'm not getting power to my dash, to my auxiliary system, so I'm not getting a temperature gauge. And it would just, at least if I even knew how hot it was getting, it would be great.
Then turn right onto River Road.
Here we go, man. Yeah, so this thing, I think the radiator's clogged. It's like I could touch parts of the radiator and it was cold, but the top was blazing hot, or not blazing hot, but really hot, and the bottom was not very hot at all. So we're just taking it in shifts, nursing it back to Matt's parents' house. Still technically driving it home. We've got like 3 miles. It's you know, maybe 10-minute drive. So we just gotta chill for a second, get back on the road and keep going. So, kicking it. We did it. We drove it home. And although it may not have been very pretty exactly,
it did great. It runs great. I think it just has a bad radiator cap. But also, yes, it does. There's a radiator problem as well. But I don't think we blew it up, which is great. Yes, it was very hot, but I think what we'll do is pull the radiator out. We'll run a bunch of water through it and see if we can't clear it out. And if we can't clear it out, then we're going to take it to a radiator shop and just have them dip it and just clean out all the crud with this acid stuff. I think that's what they use. But hopefully all of that will be fine and not too expensive. At this point, we have $0. $0, and we drove it home not just fine, but we drove it home.